Alright guys, here's some help on this review worksheet to help get you ready for the assessment tomorrow. This is our third one we've had this week, solving and graphing inequalities number 3. Again, I'll walk through just a few of the problems here just to get you going. But I'm not going to do them all, but that might be enough at least to kind of jog your memory in terms of what you're supposed to do. Let me start off even with just the first one. Remember, we're going to draw our line first of all on our inequality side, or minus whatever we do on one side, we got to do on the other side. Circle our variable, here it is. In terms of the things we got on the left side here, if we can, we try to add or subtract something first. I see that positive 2 out front against positive, because I don't see anything out here telling me it's negative, right? So it's going to be a positive 2. That negative sign goes with the 4x. So it's positive 2, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I'm going to subtract it over here. On the left, it cancels out, so it's gone. And I just got this negative 4x to bring down. That's less than, and I've got negative 28 on the other side. Now I got to divide by negative 4 to both sides, and when I do, remember I divided by a negative right there. That's the rule we've been harping on all week long. So then I circle my inequality side and drop a line down to remind myself, oh, now it's got to be a greater than sign. I'm actually going to bring it off to the side here just a little bit because I'm out of room right there. So x is greater than, and it should be positive 7 when I'm all done. Little review on the graphing, right? I put my key number in the middle, and then some numbers around, 8, 9, 6, and 5 over here. This one looks like an open circle, and I'm going to shade to the right to shade all numbers that are greater than 7. I'm going to skip down now to number 4. We see some like this every once in a while. Again, we can still do our same things in terms of drawing our line and circling our variable to get started. But then again, it just looks trickier because there's a few things going on in this fraction on the left that I think fools people. But take a look at something like this, you guys. If the problem was just x on the top, let's say it was x over 6 is less than 4. A lot of you often can tell me what to do in this problem. You say, oh, I multiplied both sides by 6. Because when you times both sides by 6 over here and over here, the 6's cancel, and I'm just left with the x, which is what's on top, okay? Well, this problem, too, is the very same thing. I know there's a little more going on up top. There's 2 terms up there, but doesn't mean it actually stops me from doing exactly that same step. So, again, I'm going to put the kind of parentheses around that whole big fraction and times both sides by 6. And over here, times by 6. It's like times by 6 over 1. And what happens is the 6's just cancel. And all I'm left with is what's up top here, which is x minus 9. So it simplifies very nicely when I just multiply both sides by 6. On the right side, I get 24. I'm going to add 9 to both sides to keep it going. So x is less than, I think we get 33 over here. Okay, 33. Again, I'll put some other numbers around like 34 and 32 just to help myself out. Open circle in this case and shade to the left. Okay. I'll do one more in this section just because the next problem still is a fraction as well, but it's a little different because just one number now is involved in the fraction. That minus 7, right, is off on its own. It's its own constant, and so, but that'll probably be the first thing I take care of. I'm going to add 7 to both sides to get rid of that. So now I just have this x divided by negative 3 on the left. It's less than or equal to 15 now I have on the right. And just like we talked about a second ago with a fraction, since it's got a negative 3 in the denominator, what I'm really doing is dividing both sides by negative 3. This fraction means divide by negative 3. Sorry, so we're multiplying, I should say, by negative 3. The negative 3's will cancel over here, so I'm just left with x. And again, I just divided, though. Oops, sorry, I even wrote it before I spoke there. I divided by a negative. Let's change colors here. Since I divided both sides by, since I multiplied both sides by negative 3, I need to turn that inequality side around, and now it's a greater than or equal to. Negative and 45 is what I have on the other side. Negative 45 is here. I can put some numbers around like negative 50 and negative 40, just to give me an idea of what's left and what's right, in terms of smaller and bigger numbers. I'm going to have a closed circle on this one, and I want to shade numbers that are greater than. So remember, that means I'm shading towards numbers that are less negative, like negative 40 and above, down towards the positives. Just some quick hints there on 7 and 8. Realize, again, they're looking for an error, and I think the error in number 7 occurs in this very last step, kind of like some of the problems that we've already done, so things we've talked about this week. See if you can figure out what happens in that last step, or what I should say doesn't happen, that gives them the wrong answers. And in number 8, it actually happens a little earlier in these first two steps. Maybe you can see what happens. Think about, again, if you're having trouble looking through their steps and figuring out the error, we'll pull it off to the side and just work it out yourself as the same problem and see, okay, well, if this was my problem, what would I do? Don't even look at theirs. Almost close your eyes, do it, or cover it up. You do the problem from here, and then see if you can match it up with what's wrong in their problem. These ones at the bottom that say translate the verbal phrase, if you're having a little trouble with those, again, it tells you in words here what the problem should say. 4 more than the product of 3 and x is less than 40. Okay? All of these things are things we've seen before, that you've probably seen in the past, but now it's kind of a little review of these. 4 more, what does that mean? I'm going to take 4 more of something. That means like I'm adding 4 to it, but it's going to be after. It's kind of something to actually add to a number, right? If I want 4 more than $50, well, I'm taking 50, and then I'm adding the 4, like I'm adding 4 on top. So it's actually going to come second, and whatever this part is going to go first. It's going to switch a little bit here. The product of 3 and x. So how do I write 3 times x? Just 3x. All that is less than, so that's like the inequality, less than 40. So there's the inequality you're going to have, and then you're going to go ahead and draw your line at -4 and keep solving from that point. And I'll just start setting up the second one as well. Twice the sum. Twice means I'm going to take 2 times something, right? And when you say sum in these kind of problems, it means that you're going to group the next things together that you're talking about. So the sum means I'm adding the sum of these two things, x and 8. Okay, so what this is going to look like is I'm grouping that, x and 8, and I'm taking, so x plus 8, because it's sum, and I'm taking twice that, so 2 times in parentheses, x plus, and there's my miserable 8s here again, 8, there we go, is greater than or equal to -36, okay? From here now I'm going to distribute and get 2x plus 16 is greater than or equal to -36. Draw my line, -16, and keep on going from here, you guys. You can take it from this point. Okay, and on the back side here, I'll just maybe talk about a couple of them. Again, not going through them in entirety, but let's look at the gymnastic ones there. The gymnastic one first. It says in the men's gymnastic event, an athlete competes in 6 events. Suppose that the athlete's average score per event is at most 9.7 points. So write and solve an inequality to find the possible total scores for the athlete. Well, if you were going to find the total scores, that's what we're trying to figure out, okay? And we know the average of their scores is 9.7, right? Sorry, at most 9.7. Think about how you find average, right? You take that total number, whatever it is, and they're in 6 different events, so you would divide it by 6. Well, that number is at most 9.7. So here's 9.7 on this side. And if it's going to be at most, that means it's going to be something less than, or the max it could be is 9.7. So thinking out loud here a little bit, I think this sign is going to be what works for us. Their score, right, their total score divided by 6 is not going to be more than, it's going to be less than or equal to 9.7. There's the setup. Now you still got to keep going from there and solve it and get t by itself, but there's how you can get that one going. Okay, and this last one, I'm going to help set it as well, because I think the wording may be a little tricky, but I think we can get it, especially if I help you here a little bit. You can order a discount movie tickets from a website for $7 each. So every ticket you order is $7. You must also pay a shipping fee of $4, and it doesn't say it too explicitly there, but it's saying that no matter how many tickets you order, you just got to pay $4. You want to spend no more than $40 on tickets, so that's your max budget. Find the possible number of movie tickets that you can order. Every ticket is $7, so it'd be something like 7T, plus then you got a $4 shipping charge no matter what, and it's a flat fee of $4. Again, it doesn't say it too well in there, but that's the way I'm interpreting it. Just $4 is the fee, and you want to pay no more than $40. So which inequality is going to go in there? Like what you spend is less than, or could be equal to, maximum it could be 40, but that's the max. So there's the setup right there. 7T plus 4 less than or equal to 40. Draw your line, subtract 4, and keep it going from there. Okay? If you still need help, email me, Zoom me, let me know how it's going. You guys, this is a review for an assessment tomorrow. So please, if you have questions, definitely bring them up. Okay, good luck.